Hello, this is Console TX here to play the March 18th, 2019 Heat Signature Daily Challenge featuring Antilla Horizon, an ex-sovereign glitch sick person supplier with a self-charging high-capacity slipstream who wants to kill people as fast, or kill 3 specific people and not anybody else, but also possesses a self-charging high-capacity slipstream and isn't technophobic for once. Although the character yesterday was not technophobic and I just forgot. Okay, 5-second docking time plus I wasted another second, so 6-second docking time. It's okay, I'm allowed to hit people, and I can just use every charge on this slipstream too. Whoops. Through the slipstream. Oh, another slipstream. So there were some shenanigans going on. After you melee somebody, your slipstream you don't move at max speed when you autopath with the slipstream. And so I was like trying to get that to happen, and then I was trying to negotiate the door. I accidentally pressed the throw button, which unpauses it when you're in throw mode. So I mean, a couple things happened, but nothing bad. I didn't really waste any time. Need this hammer back though. So right now I'm considering whether I want to grab this crate. I do have this subverter, and it might be worth one subverter use and a slight detour to gain access to whatever that item is. On the other hand, these guys are starting to walk in that direction, which means that if I don't intercept them, they'll be at the window by the time I want to knock them out. So I think I'm just going to ignore that item. So that was a fairly straightforward slipstream mission. I'm taking these shotguns with me not because I'm going to use them, but because they make noise. They might be useful. Alarm responses target flees. This is an assassination mission. I have at least 10, plus some more slipstream uses, and I have a stealth shield. So this should also be a very straightforward assassination. Uh-oh. This is going to be a bad docking time, though, because I approached too close. 5 seconds, actually still a very respectable speed to dock at. Whoops. Alarm responses target flees. The target is going to flee to up here. Whoops. Probably lost my momentum, so I'm just going to fire this slipstream off again. I pressed throw instead of... or no, I just forgot to pause it again. I forget what I did, but I just wasn't careful about maintaining my speed, which is why I ran into that door there. Oh, I can shoot this guy. So that was another straightforward mission. I allowed the alarm to sound. I did some imprecise unpauses, and I skipped some crates, but I don't think I really wasted much time. I might not have chosen the fastest path to the capture target. I was going up via to the teleporter area because I assumed that the target would run there, but I wasn't thinking about the fact that they barely move at all between when you sound the alarm and when you get to them because of the slipstream. So maybe that was not the most efficient way to get to the target. I mean, I don't know. The most efficient way to get to the target would have been to click autopath on where the target was going to be and then just let the game get me there. But either way, I think that that mission went pretty much fine. I mean, I didn't mess anything up horribly badly. There were like a few seconds that I could have saved, maybe, or maybe fractions of seconds, but overall it was a pretty reasonable mission. This one I'm just advancing time so that when I return to my pod, I'm not already in the radius of the ship, because that can happen and then you just waste time, since it takes a second before you gain control of your pod. I am going to go to the clearance door because I have this subverter. I'm going to subvert the door and activate my stealth shield. Have I'm pretty sure I haven't killed anybody, but I wasn't actually thinking about it last mission, so I'm not 100% sure that I have not killed anybody. I'm just going to follow the subverter the auto path to the target and operate under the assumption that I will be able to subvert every door between me and the target. Yeah, I'll have it most. So if I go down to the left, which I assume I won't, then I'll be able to pick up this key and that'll be fine. Otherwise I'll go to the right, in which case I'll have 3 doors to subvert. So I do need to grab level 4 clearance. So the game will probably take me on this path, and I'll just need to go this path and grab level 4. So that's, oh shoot, I pressed T, which is my throw button, rather than space. And when you are in throw mode and you press T, it unpauses it. If you press space, it just returns you to this menu, and I just pressed T and ran into that door, which caused me to lose my momentum and stuff, but wasn't actually a big deal. Oops. Did I lost my momentum. I guess I auto-pathed to there and not to down here. I don't know. I've been pretty imprecise with my throw mode movement, but that's okay. Oh, I haven't thought about how I'm going to assassinate this guy. Alright, so I need to lure him, I need to subvert him, and then lure him in front of the sentry gun, or I could get him to the window. Okay, so let's do... Alright, so the first thing I'm going to try to do is to put him in front of the sentry. So I'm going to run up close. Uh-oh. I hope that doesn't hit me. That's so obnoxious. Okay, so what happened there was I was in throw mode, and I moved to where the deactivate button would be, but that moves the vision of the character, which pulled the rechargeable stealth shield away from... Oh. So the stealth shield was protecting me from getting shot by the sentry. And I was like, oh, I'm going to deactivate the sentry. So I moved the stealth shield over there. Oh my goodness. So, okay. Well, my plan was to line up like right here and subvert the assassination target and the sentry so that he wouldn't be able to activate his shield. And then to get the guy, and I would deactivate the sentry and then I could just reactivate it and it would be facing that way. And I was going to concussion hammer to hit the guy over into this hallway, activate the sentry, have the sentry shoot him. In retrospect, that wouldn't have been a good idea because the guy is explosive. And so really my best plan is to have him go out into space. It looks like these guys are going to be able to pick up my body anyways. Okay, but it's the assassination target. Okay, so as much as this is a horrible, huge, enormous waste of time that is just an absolute nightmare for me, it is good because the target is coming all the way over here, and so I'll be able to knock them out into space. What? Okay. The tracker grabbed me after the target dropped me, and that was just very confusing. Alright. So where did the assassination target go? The tracker's right there, so I need to use stealth, and I need to subvert the tracker, I guess? Yeah, I don't have another... Oh, no, I can just knock out the tracker with a concussion hammer. So that's fine. So I'm going to activate the slipstream and the stealth shield. I'm going to run over to the tracker. Okay, I smack the tracker, and now I need to get my assassination target somewhere dangerous. So I'm going to, I guess, do that. Can I open this door and then... Alright. So I'm going to hit this assassination target over here. I'm going to subvert this sentry. Oh, shoot. Okay, hold on. I don't want to subvert the sentry just yet because, again, the assassination target will explode. So I want to smack that guy out of the way. Then I'll subvert the sentry. Then I'll run to this side of the assassination target. Oh shit, it's moving. Okay, alright. Oh shoot, activated the stealth shield. Or not the stealth shield, the regular shield. Alright, I need to disable this sentry so that it doesn't shoot the other guy. Alright, I just need to knock this guy over to the airlock. That's my current game plan. And I'll activate the slipstream again. So I'm just going to bully this assassination target until they are out the door. Either stealth shield again, or sorry, slipstream again. Oh, I should activate the stealth shield again so that the assassination target doesn't shoot me. There we go. Alright, so I wasted an enormous amount of time on that mission by getting knocked out by that sentry gun, which is a real shame. And then I also was not what anybody reasonable would call fast on knocking that assassination target out in space. In retrospect, I maybe should have been searching the crates for some more things. I also think the plan of getting the assassination target shot by a sentry gun was a good idea, and that I should have maybe gone out of my way to grab more keycards rather than wasting subverter uses on doors. I just was assuming blindly that I would be able to kill the assassination target once I reached them, and I wasn't thinking. And so I was just thinking about the fastest way to get to the assassination target, which was via subverting doors. But it would have not taken me out of my way very much at all to just go grab the keycards, and that would have saved me 2 subverter uses, which meant that I could have easily subverted the assassination target and then bullied them over to a place where they were in view of a sentry, but also not near anybody else, so that when they exploded they wouldn't kill anybody else. And then that would have been the best way. I would have subverted the sentry would have shot them, they would have died, and that would have been the best way to assassinate them. But I was not I wasn't even considering what the assassination target's loadout looked like, with regards to whether I would be able to assassinate them. I was concerned with just getting there. Um, so yeah, once I had gotten to the assassination target, it was pretty much bad luck that I got shot by the sentry. It's like I went inside of it, not past it. I could have just gone past it a little bit. I should have been paying more attention, but really it's not something that I blame myself for. It's not something that I consider to be my fault when I look at how bad my score is relative to what it could have been. Um, Obviously, I should have realized that's something that I forget not super infrequently is that sentry guns will just shoot you because you can move the stealth shield. Uh, I also could have activated or deactivated the sentry gun without going into the pause menu, just using my mouse button, which is I, the I key. And I also could have just paused it by pressing space out of throw mode rather than and then move to the deactivate thing, or I could have moved past it, or I could have just subverted it outright and then tried to bully the assassination target over to a place where they would get shot without without having them activate their shield. That would have been dangerous and actually might have cost me, or might have what it might have caused a penalty for me because I wasn't paying attention to the fact that the assassination target was explosive before I got shot by that sentry turret. So that could have been a disaster. Um, but I also could have hit them further into the hall and then reactivated the sentry turret, and then the assassination target would have exploded without harming anybody. It was definitely doable, and I'm a bit disappointed that I got shot by the turret, so I didn't get to like carry out any clever plans like that. Knocking the assassination target into space is definitely something that appeals less to my like cleverness, uh, like the desire I have to be clever in heat signature, and the sort of mental the mental like itch that this game scratches. Just brute force hitting a guy with a concussion hammer all the way to the airlock and then opening it so that we get sucked out into space is less cool than hitting them into an area where there's a sentry gun that'll shoot them. So that was too bad that I didn't get to execute on that plan because I think that was a cool idea. But overall, not horrible. My time got pretty rinsed by the fact that I got knocked out by that one sentry, and that's a shame. But such is the way of things. The lesson here is to maybe go for more crates, certainly be more stingy with the subverter uses. I was just, well, really, there's one lesson, and the lesson is pay attention to what the assassination target is immune to. You know, it had an emergency shield and armor, and they were explosive. And I wasn't paying attention to any of those things. Even after I got to the guy, I wasn't paying attention to the fact that he was explosive. It didn't cost me this time, but I did lose a lot of time. So, I mean, in the future, pay more attention. That's pretty much the lesson in every. Once you know all of the mechanics and stuff in heat signature, the solution to every problem is just to pay more attention. Really, attention is the resource that you are using to do everything in heat signature, and you theoretically have infinite attention because you can pause it and like do whatever you want and figure everything out. But in practice, that's not really how it goes. I mean, attention is also your. It's like when one of the things that can happen is you look at a situation and you overlook something, but you consider that situation sort of examined, right? So it's like I look in the room, I don't see that the guy's explosive, and and then because I have looked at the situation, I do not consider even if I had unlimited time, I wouldn't look back there because I already looked it over, and so I wouldn't notice that he was explosive, even if I spent more time looking at things. The only question is how many times you're willing to double check or triple check what you've been looking at. And so that's sort of the skill, I guess, is either being willing to be more thorough or being able to notice everything when you first examine a situation, examining it carefully enough and recognizing all of the important interactions that might come up, rather than writing them off as irrelevant. And yeah, so I mean that's the lesson in every heat signature daily challenge. But in this particular one, there were things that I think that I should have noticed that I didn't even look for. Like I didn't even try to look at the assassination target. So it's not what I was saying where it's like you look at something and then you miss some details and then you ignore them because you've already looked at that thing. In this case, I just didn't look at the assassination target. It was on the mission select screen, and it was right in front of my face when I paused the game and looked down where the assassination target was. I mean, I was zoomed out when I did that, but I could have zoomed in, and I should have. I also could have recognized it when I was looking at all of the other guards. So I mean, it's pretty not reasonable uh, to not notice the details of the assassination target there, and so I deserve to lose some time for that. Uh, Although I think that the biggest time loss I experienced was just kind of silly, getting shot by the sentry because I looked the other way. Um, is a silly error and is not super indicative of, I guess, my skill at heat signature, where the skill is how good you are at paying attention to things and whatever, and devising tactics and strategies. Which is too bad because it means that my score is lower than it could be if I was playing at the level of skill I consider myself to be at, which is a shame. But I definitely don't think that I played optimally for the reasons I mentioned. I wasn't paying enough attention to blah blah blah, and yeah. But yeah, I mean the real shame is that I didn't get to hit the assassination target into a corridor where they'd get shot by a sentry gun, because that's a cool interaction. I don't know if I've ever done that before. I rarely make use of the fact that sentry guns can kill people who are in armor. So, yeah. Oh well. This is a pretty interesting last mission, even though it was a slipstream autopath daily. Um, I mean, actually, it was the fact that I was considering this to be a straightforward slipstream autopath daily that got me in trouble in the end. So, yeah. Uh, Anyways, that's it. This is Console TX signing out. Thanks for watching.